Now, let's understand what does this truth means. No relationship starts from scratch. What does this mean? What does this mean? You who are married, single, pay attention and learn this lesson. No relationship starts from scratch. This starting from scratch refers to your emotional baggage, your past baggage with experiences from what happened to your life and in the lives of your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, which means when someone starts a relationship, at times the thought is we're just starting from scratch. No, no one starts a relationship from scratch. Why? Because everyone brings a balance. Both bring some sort of balance to this relationship. A emotional balance. Let's give a few examples of balance that we bring to the relationship. Everyone who starts a relationship brings with them their upbringing. How was your upbringing? It doesn't matter if it was perfect, exemplary, in a perfect family, or the opposite of this. You bring this with you to the relationship. Cristiane and I, we always speak on how I came from a family that the marriage of my parents was destroyed, and she came from an exemplary marriage from her parents. Then what happened? My negative balance mixed with her positive balance of her upbringing, and she demanded something that I didn't know. And because I didn't know, I could not give. I couldn't give. So this balance from our upbringing clashed in our marriage. It's an example. And everyone has some sort of upbringing. So you don't start a relationship from scratch because you bring an upbringing with you. Another balance you bring is your marriage reference. What is the reference you have? When you think about marriage, do you think about something good, positive, or something bad? Because you saw your parents' marriage as a terrible example of a couple. Do you have a good reference of a husband? Do you know what is to be a good husband, a good wife? Or does your reference makes you avoid the topic of marriage? You don't even like to speak about this topic. You who are single, you say, I will never get married. Why do you say that? Because of your bad references of marriage. You say you will never get married, but you start to relate yourself with someone, you like the person, you want to be with the person, but at the same time you want to never get married because your reference of marriage is terrible. How will your marriage be? Well, let's just live together. And then there's a crooked arrangement. An arrangement that it is, but it is not. Do you know what I'm talking about? You present yourselves like you don't know whether to say if this is your husband or boyfriend. And then, recently, they created a new title, husband. And then they present yourself as girlfriend. Wait, but he does not see me as a wife, but I see him as a husband. And that's something that makes no sense at all. Why? Because of this balance. Because of this bad marriage reference you have. And then many problems begin. Then you bring the upbringing, the bad reference of marriage, and if it's not enough, you bring external influences that caused an impact in your head in regards to love life. You have cultural influences, songs. Do songs today exalt or diminish, ridicule marriage. So you have cultural influences, songs, TV series, movies, diminishing all that God has created. You have the religious influences, am I right? What the person has learned, the belief, the creed that the person has, or maybe the one that they don't have, they don't believe in God, they don't care about what God says about marriage, the social influences, the circle of friends. Man is like this, women is like that, the friends say. All this influence the way you treat the other person in a relationship. And then, beyond the upbringing, references, external influences, you have the baggage from past relationships. You bring to your new relationship the balances from previous relationships. If you have been betrayed, you are afraid of being betrayed again. If you have been mistreated, you are afraid of that happening again. Many complexes, many unresolved matters from past relationships that you bring to the new one. All this comes down to what we have been teaching, the baggage. How big is your baggage? How many luggages are you bringing with you? Or maybe the luggage is not enough, you bring a huge chest, or maybe you bring a lorry, a big truck with luggages. From your past, do you understand why no relationship starts from scratch? Whether you are married or single, you start with a balance. You have a balance. The question is, what is your balance? What balance do you bring to a relationship? You who are married, I ask you now, husband and wife, you who are married, you live together, you are in a relationship. What is the current balance of your marriage? The emotional balance. For example, do you feel like you have an outstanding balance? You are in debt with your husband and wife? Because you made a mistake, you disappointed them, you lied, you betrayed, you fought with each other. How is your balance? Do you feel like you have no credit? You have no credit at all. Your word means nothing to your husband or to your wife. How is your credit? You make promises and that means nothing to your partner. How is the balance in your marriage? Outstanding or settled? Do you have a credit? Is it settled? Then you see that everyone brings a balance, even the single ones. What is the balance for you to join a relationship? What is your emotional balance? When you enter into a relationship, you single person, if today you are afraid on relating yourself with others, you are afraid on joining a relationship because you think, if I do that, what if it goes wrong? What if I suffer? What if I get married and it does not work? You already have an outstanding balance before relating with the person because you have traumas from past relationships. And this makes you to be afraid on starting a new relationship. You're not with a settled balance. You have an outstanding balance. You don't have a paid balance, a positive one. Your balance is negative, is outstanding. You always doubting, always looking for problems and trying to prove you're right. That's what many do when they sabotage their own relationship. Then what is your emotional balance? What is the balance you bring within you, single person? Maybe you have doubts about your own value. You doubt what your value is. What is the value you bring Maybe you have a feeling of inferiority. You see yourself as ugly. You don't see yourself on the same level of a woman to meet the expectations. You don't think you can meet the expectations of what a woman expects from a man. And when you join a relationship, you already put yourself down. You lower your level. And when you do that, you attract someone with a low level. So your balance is outstanding. Before starting a relationship, you're already losing. You're already negative in your balance. You don't have skills to relate yourself because at times you don't say how to say a hi, how to approach someone that you are interested without being afraid of being rejected. You have no relationship skills. Then your balance is outstanding. That's why I say every relationship starts with a balance. And if it is an outstanding balance, you must work on it before you're solving your love life problem. You are single and you say, I must find someone, I must find a person. Your problem is not to find someone. If your balance is outstanding, emotionally or spiritually, first, you must solve this problem that is in you. You must treat yourself first. Because if you are well with a paid, settled emotional balance, then you can join a relationship. If you are married and the balance between the both of you is outstanding, there's no point on thinking, let's give a chance to the both of us. Let's turn the page. Let's start over. Forgive me. As many couples, they do. They have this attitude. They fight. They go each one to your corner. They spend days, weeks in their parents' house, and they miss each other and they think, let's try it over. Let's give another chance to ourselves. Am I right? There's no point of you doing that again if the balance is outstanding. You will come together again, and the things from the past that are unresolved will come back, and even stronger, because if they are not solved, the frustration will be greater. Are you understanding? So what must you do? You must treat it. Whether you are single or married, you must have a settled balance in you that you may be able to offer something to someone else and not be removing something from a person and owing them something. And if you are in a relationship, the same works for you. And here's the wisdom. The love therapy is for this. The proposal of the love therapy is to settle the balance from the past, to settle that balance and to give credit to this balance and that it may rise and it be positive. That you may have peace, just as when you have money in your bank account, when you have enough money, more than enough in your bank account, you have a bank account that money is more than enough. If you pay all your bills today, you still have a lot of money in your bank account. When you have a lot of money in your account, you are at peace, financially speaking. The same is in your love life. When your balance is positive, your relationship is at peace. You owe nothing to your wife, to your husband, all is settled, and you have more than enough, and you can build, you can grow. When you are single with a positive balance, you are well. You're not desperate, anxious. You are not, showing off on social media, on apps, booking appointments with strangers. You're not in this situation. You are well, and you attract those who are well, because you are well as well. Those who are well attract those who are well too. The only way for you to attract someone who is well, to meet your expectations, is for you to be well. And this is what the love therapy has been doing and has been helping to realize that in the lives of people.